everyone and welcome to my channel. It's me, Mish, the Dorky Reader, and today's video is going to be my monthly reading wrap up for the month of August. Last month was a really bad reading month for me. It feels like I got into this really huge reading slump and I'm not sure why. I'm guessing it's because that time of year is the first days of school for my kids and the end of summer, and there were doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and all sorts of things happening that kind of kept me from really diving in. So one book in particular was a really good book, but it took me 2 whole weeks just to read the one book. And I don't have any excuses. I just wasn't feeling it. I ended up watching a lot of Chinese dramas instead too. And maybe that's what really did it. I was distracted. Anyway, let's just begin. So for starters, this is the original stack minus one book. The book that's missing is When the Moon Hatched, which I'll place right here somewhere. To be honest, that book was not for me. I was not vibing with that book at all, and it has my pet peeve in it, which is when people overuse the terms male and female, and they use them, you know, gosh, every page there's at least one male or female word mentioned. And I feel like it feels like you're watching like a nature documentary when you do that, and I hate that. Like, it just doesn't feel right. And I get a lot of people are okay with it because elves or fairies or whatever, they're not human. So I don't know, you can't say man or woman. I don't know why though. Or he or she. Can't you use anything other than male or female? Anyway, regardless, it is my personal pet peeve. So that book did not work for me, and I nixed it after only like a day of trying, and I was like, it's not gonna happen. So I replaced that book with another one because I felt like my reading list had gotten too short right after that, because it was like the biggest part of my stack. And I grabbed The Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Dinniman. This is book 4 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. This book was a lot thicker, notably, than the first 3 books, and I believe they get even bigger as they go on, which is exciting. This book took me 2 weeks to go through. Again, because of that reading slump, I was just distracted and it just wasn't happening for me. But I did enjoy the book. The book was great. It might actually be, I'm looking at this stack here, it's my favorite of the books I did end up reading. So Dungeon Crawler Carl follows Carl and Donut and some of their friends as they, is it floor 5, I believe that they're on? I think they're on floor 5. I could be wrong, but I think that's the number. Things like that don't stick in my brain very well. Anyway, this floor features over 1,000 different bubble systems, like domed areas or zones, and people are set off into each little bubble. And there's 4 places they can start within each bubble: air quadrant, land quadrant, water quadrant, and was the other one earth, like it's underground? I can't remember what the other one's title is. But anyway, Carl and Donut start off in the air sector, and each sector has a kind of a castle or a dungeon. They have a boss they have to beat, and if all 4 bosses are beat, then the stairwells open up and they're allowed to proceed to the next floor. This was really exciting. The bosses were really unique and hilarious. I think this one had some really good comedy moments. Also, the stakes are very high. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background, and let's just say a lot of shenanigans ensue, and it was really good. I really liked it. I had a good time. It's definitely, like I said earlier, or maybe I didn't because I edited this as a new section, but this book is a lot bigger than the first 3 books that were out from the series, and I really enjoyed that because it let you really soak in more. However, it did take me longer, but I think that was just a personal issue. So I'm looking forward to the next ones. Okay, Dungeon Crawler Carl out of the way. I would rate that book a 4.5 out of 5. Not for like the quality of the writing or anything like that, but just a really good time. Like, these books are always really fun and they make you happy. Okay, again, now I'm gonna move on. So here is my stack of books. Let me pull these up. Da, 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 da. I'm not sure if you can see all the titles there, but I did end up reading of these 5, 3. So, and of course that one. So there's 4 total this month. The first book on the stack is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. I did not end up reading this, and oddly enough, I had like this prediction of the books I would end up reading for the month, and this was one of them, and I didn't read it. But I want to, so maybe next time. Axie O wrote, gosh, what is that? The Floating World, which I recently read in a previous video, and I really enjoyed the romance in that book, and so I wanted to give another one of her books a try. This book came out before The Floating World, and it's a standalone, so that would be a really easy way to get that out of the way. Okay, the next book on this stack is Kiki's Delivery Service. I did end up reading this. I didn't really want to, though. To be honest with you, I was not in a middle grade mood when I read this book, but I chose this book because I had 2 more days left in August, and I knew this was the only one I could finish in 2 days, like, safely, and guarantee that I'd have another book on my reading list. That said, it was very cute. It reads very juvenile. Like, it is definitely intended for children. And if you've seen the movie, this one actually follows along, not exactly like the movie, but pretty darn close. So it's not a surprise. There's nothing that happens that's like, whoa, I was really shocked by that. You know, Howl's Moving Castle, on the other hand, if you've ever read that book, is completely different from the movie. So I was hoping for a little bit of that, and I didn't get it. So that's maybe why my rating for this book is just maybe like a 3-star for kids. Like, it's okay. But it definitely read like something for a very young child. I wouldn't really even recommend this for my 12-year-old, because I feel like this is a little below her level of reading. It was still good. I don't want anyone to hate me. I really did think it was cute. But I just, you know, when you're like picking up a book for yourself as an adult, you tend to not go for that kind of a book. Anyway, the next book on my stack is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. And I did read this. I ended up reading this first, actually. I had started off the month in this zone, like I told you, like a really bad reading slumpy kind of, I don't want to read anything. And I just grabbed a couple of them and read a few lines and was like, all right, I'll go with this one. This is not my usual type of book. I don't usually read crime or mystery books, you know, on their own or standalones like this. I did enjoy it. It was good. It was kind of predictable to me, for me. I kind of saw who the villain would be from the get-go. There was another person I thought maybe it could be, but I was still very strongly leaning towards the person that it ended up being. And so therefore it wasn't like, oh, you know, it wasn't as revealing, I guess, or I don't know. It wasn't as shocking to me. However, it was a good book. It was written well. I did enjoy it, like the story. Just, again, it wasn't fantasy, so for me, like, I love fantasy and sci-fi where I can kind of escape reality, and since this is set in reality, you know, in a real place, it just feels a little, not my vibe. Unless, of course, there's a twist or it's a certain type of story that I can get really pulled in. But it was okay. It was okay. Not my best reading month, I think, so far. The next book I'm gonna pull here is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I did not read this. Another one I really wanted to read from the stack and didn't. But hopefully I'll get around to it at some point. This is supposed to be some kind of, I believe, post-apocalyptic survival story with a mother and her daughter or something along those lines. I kind of purposefully don't research too much about a book before I read it, just little tidbits, because I don't want to spoil anything. So I don't have a lot of information on it. I just know that it supposedly is a really good story, and so I do want to eventually get around to it. And the last book I have here is Predator's Gold by Philip Reeve. This is book 2 in the Mortal Engine series, a book series I read the first of this year. I don't know if I would say not too long ago, but I did read the first book this year and I really enjoyed it. It was very surprising to me because I wasn't expecting to like the first book as much as I did. That said, the second book, gosh, how do I say? It has the best world building, right? I love this world. It's so unique. It's very interesting. There are some really quirky, wild side characters that are great. That said, I did not enjoy this book as much as I thought I would because the main characters, the two main characters, just their characters are so deeply flawed. And I get, like, Joe Abercrombie has flawed characters that you really root for, that you really like somehow. But in this world, the main characters, I was not a fan, especially of Tom, one of the male main character. Some of his inner thoughts to me were it put me off. And I just wasn't vibing with it at all. And that it was hard to get into it because of that. However, I still devoured the book. It actually was one of the few books I read really quickly in this last month because the world building is so exciting and the side characters are so weird, and it just really makes you like, oh, what's going on? So I will continue with the series despite my grievances, and maybe they'll redeem themselves, question mark. Or maybe the next book won't focus so heavily on those two characters, which would be great. But we'll see. I'm still curious what happens, and I want to see where they're going. So that is my August reading wrap up. It was just 4 books. I'll pull them up right here. One middle grade, 1 YA, and 2 adult books. So it wasn't like super heavy of a read this month for me, but at least I got something done and I can be proud of myself for that. Especially in August when everything is so crazy. My September TBR is full of stand-up books. Like, I am so excited, and I've started one already and it is so good. I cannot wait to talk about it next month. Honestly, probably one of the better books I've read all year, so that's saying something. But I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to like announce anything yet. I'm only like 37% finished or something along those lines. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes when it's done. But I guess for now that's it, and I hope you guys have a wonderful reading month ahead, and I hope your August reads were great. Tell me in the comments below what your favorite book was in the month of August, and I would love to hear about it. I'd say for me, my favorite was The Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Dinniman, and my least favorite of these, it's hard to say. Kiki's Delivery Service just wasn't for me because it was so young, but it wasn't like a bad book. I would say I was a little disappointed in the main characters of Predator's Gold, but then I read it so crazily. And then Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone was good, but like I said, I wasn't shocked, you know? So I would say, I guess my biggest disappointment, because it would be like a disappointed feeling, would be The Predator's Gold, because I really loved book 1. So book 2 being kind of like, what are they doing, would be my disappointment. So there we go. This isn't bad. I want to say this is bad. 2 books, very different vibes, and that's that. All right, peace out. Have a great last summer month or beginning of fall. I don't know.